today you'll see two great shorts, super comfortable. They are pull-up, so no zippers, none of that. There is a panel between the front and the back leg, and that makes the optional pockets really easy to sew. Hi sewing friends, I'm Karina from liftingpinsandneedles.com. Welcome to this channel that is all about sewing, limitless sewing, and I have shorts to share. Shorts are sort of a bit of a uniform for me. I wear them year round. Even in the winter, there's a certain part of the day that is still really nice and warm and I can wear shorts. But then it gets really cold and I have to layer up. I think shorts are super practical, super wearable, a staple for different types of occasions. And today I'm sharing the new Hello shorts from Sinclair patterns. They were released a few days ago. I purchased the pattern as soon as they were released. I was really drawn in by the design lines. These have a few extra details in here. So as I mentioned, they are pull up, they're super comfortable. What I like is the flat front elasticated back waistband. The curved front waistband is a little shorter and it reaches one of the seams on the panels of these legs. So between the front leg and the back leg you have a panel right there, and that's where the front waistband reaches. It is a curved waistband, nice anatomic, and then the rest of the waistband that goes all the way sort of from the side to the back is a rectangle, and that is the section that has the elastic. So I love that. I love that clean streamlined look on the front with the flat waistband, but the comfort of having that extra ease with the elastic to just whip them up over your hip. In the panel on the sides you can sew it plain, just leave it like that, or you can add pockets in there. That panel being there makes the pockets super easy to sew. You have options for these pockets. You can just do a simple pocket, it's finished with binding on the top. You can add a pocket flap that would help your things that you put in there stay in there and not fall out. The other option is doing a zipper there on that side, which makes it super easy. There's just one top piece of fabric, a bottom piece of fabric, the zipper in between, and then the sides get sewn into the panels there. So if you love pockets and you like having them and wearing them and actually putting things in there, I think the zipper pocket is a really safe option because whatever you put in there is going to stay in there. Or at the bottom of the leg on the side you can add these two panels that overlap and finish with binding, giving a bit of a tulip look. I think that's more of a sporty vibe. For me, I view pockets as more of an aesthetic thing, of decoration on a garment. I never put anything in there, so I'm just looking at them as being pretty, not as being functional, but these actually are functional. On the pattern pieces you have different length options. You know, everyone likes to wear their shorts at different lengths, so you have a short one, it's about a 3.5 inch inseam, and then one that's a little longer at 5.5, that will reach sort of the mid thigh, and then you have a longer version that would be above the knee. Because the Hello shorts are a brand new pattern at Sinclair, they are marked on the site 18% off through Sunday the 4th of June. Find my affiliate link down below. I do make a small commission if you purchase through that link, but you don't pay anything extra, and it's just one of the ways that you can support the work that I do here on YouTube. So I'm very grateful when you use my link. These are designed for woven fabrics that don't stretch. I think maybe pushing it into a medium to heavy would be okay. There are no features here in this pattern that need drape, so when I structured fabric is going to work really well. Usually these are really easy to work with, so you have your cotton twills, a light denim would work, a linen blends. You find linen mixed in with rayon, it'll give it a little bit of a drape but not that much. Linen cotton blends are also super good. I would use a chambray for these. I wouldn't go really lightweight and use 100% rayon or a super light crepe, that type of material. I'd want to keep it a little bit structured, just a little bit. I think it would look best. You need a little bit of interfacing to interface the front waistband, and 2-inch elastic to go inside the waistband at the back. I have so many woven fabrics that are suitable for these shorts. It was really hard to choose. I end up choosing the linen rayon blends. I have so many of them and they work so well with my climate and my wardrobe and the look that I want. So yeah, those are the fabrics I've chosen. Linen 55%, rayon 45%. They're still structured, but they have a little bit of drape, which I think is always pleasing to look at and comfortable to wear. I think these side panels and all the details are better seen with solid fabrics. If you use a print, it's just going to look like a pair of shorts. So that's why for these I've decided to use solids. Plus I need solids. Who doesn't need them? I sew so many patterned tops. Bottoms that are solids are just going to be so useful, you know. Sizing goes from 0 to 30 up to a 63-inch hip, and if you've sewn Sinclair patterns before, you might know that they have height files as well, so that is extremely helpful, especially for petites and tall, because then you find you don't need to make many length adjustments. Choose your height file first, whether you're petite, you're regular or tall. You can see the little chart here that will give you a little bit of a reference, and you have a much better result. I've been using the tall file for years, for tops, for dresses, for pants, and it's amazing because I don't need to make many changes. I find the changes I make are very minimal. These pants are pull up, so at the waist you're going to have the same amount of ease as the measurement of your hips, because of course you need to pull them up over your hips, but then that's going to come in nicely with the elastic. The hips have a bit of ease. I think that is the perfect amount of ease for pants and shorts. They're not skin tight, but they'll fit nicely and you'll be able to sit down and move. The thigh is not skin tight, you know, it'll just flare out a tiny little bit. I think it's perfect. I sew a size 16. I'm 5'8". I'm not extremely tall, but I'm usually a little bit taller than what most patterns draft for. So these height files at Sinclair patterns are just golden. You know, I always do my checks, flat pattern measurements. I draw in my seam allowances. I pin in my waistband, draw the seam allowance on the waistband so I can measure what the rise is on the front and the back, and I compare that to my body. The only tiny fitting adjustment I had to make for mine is at 3/8 of an inch to the front rise. That's all. So I just cut right apart there on the center front by that amount, tapering to nothing on the side. I did make a non-wearable test garment though. I really wanted to make sure, because I am planning to use nice fabric, some nice linen. So I never want to ruin a pair of pants, you know, even though I was at 90% sure that this was going to be perfect, I still wanted to confirm, and making the test garment was so easy. No top stitching, no finishing seams, no pockets. It also helped me determine what length elastic I want to use in mine. For sewing, you'll see general construction. These are so easy to put together. I'll focus a little on the waistband, which is also very easy. For one of them, I'm not doing pockets on the side or anything, and that's because my fabric itself is really pretty. It's a solid, but it's an embroidered linen, so I think the side panel on its own will be perfectly fine. But on another pair I want to make, I am going to do a pocket on the side, so I'll use that one. It's a solid to film that pocket so you can see. Once the pocket is on the side panel, you can just treat that side panel like one piece, and then the construction would be the same as you'll see with my embroidered pair. So let's see. One of the pieces that needs to be interfaced is the front waistband, the outer layer. I've got 2 layers of fabric here. The top layer is interfaced, the bottom layer is not interfaced. As you can see there, I'm using white interfacing, and I'm just going to cut my front waistband like this. This is block fusing. The fabric has already been interfaced before cutting out the shape, and this will ensure that the outer layer that's interfaced is going to be exactly the same size as the inner layer that's not interfaced. Here are the pattern pieces for the Hello shorts, the basic version without the pockets on the side. This is the back leg. This is a panel that's going to go in between the back leg and the front leg right here. You can see it's quite wide, and this is where you're going to have pocket details if you want to. This is the back waistband. This is longer. This is on the fold right here, and here are the 2 front waistbands. You saw that one is interfaced, one isn't. I blocked fused and cut those out at the same time, and I'm just going to have these little pocket flaps at the back. This is something I'm adding extra. I cut my own little pieces there just for decoration. There's not going to be real pockets on these shorts. These are just going to be on the back to look nice. If you're doing a pocket detail, you will do the pocket detail on this middle panel there first. Once you have the pocket done, then you would just treat this middle panel like one piece. So essentially the sewing construction would be all the same. And what we're going to do is sew this seam here and sew that seam there. Just unite these panels here for both of the legs. I'll be top stitching and pressing the seam allowances this way towards the legs. So that'll be something easy and fast to get done. Pretty straight seams. I'm going to be using a straight stitch to do this. Nothing special, just using a universal needle. I'm using a number 90 here because the fabric is medium weight. Seam allowance is 5/8 of an inch, which is pretty big. No worries, I'll be trimming that away when I'm at the serger cleaning up these seams, and I'll leave it at about 3/8 of an inch. And remember, if you have the pockets there, the technique will be the same. You'll be sewing these same seams. It's just that you'll have a little more layers there when you have that middle panel constructed with the pocket there. We'll see that detail later. After sewing this and serging, I'll be doing some top stitching, just decoration. I'm using the exact same thread I'm using for my general seam, so I'm not switching. Top stitching will be discreet, and I'll be using my blind hem presser foot with a needle to the left. Here I have all the pieces that you need to do the pockets on the side panel. So that is the side panel that you would sew if you're just doing the plain version, like my brown version. But you can get this same piece but composed of more pieces if you want the pocket. Here on this piece, you'll see a line with a notch here and a notch there. You have to fold that away, and that's going to be the top part of the pocket. That is what I have right there. This is the actual pocket piece. That's what I have in this fabric, and this is basically going to go on top right there. To finish the top of the pocket, we're going to use binding, and that's what goes right here. And then to complete the rest of the bottom of this panel, you have this separate piece that you sew onto there. And then basically you're going to end up with one long piece that's just going to be the same as the side panel. It's just going to have a pocket there. Just for a bit of fun and interest, I've done some top stitching with a decorative thread here on these pockets. So what we need to do first is bind the top of these pockets with this binding piece. Once we've bound this top of the pocket, they're going to match those little marks right here, and we're just going to overlay them there. And then at the bottom you have double notches, and those are going to match. And then we just baste, and that completes the pocket. And then we sew on the bottom piece that will complete the panel right there. So the binding, it's super easy. You just take the top of the pocket and align the binding. Both of these should be looking up at you, wrong sides up. So those lines mean that that's the wrong side of the fabric. So basically the binding right side to wrong side. And we're just going to sew these together with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So what we're going to do now is take the pocket. This is right sides up. We're going to press the seam allowance up. We're going to bring this binding and fold this top edge and just bring it over and cover that seam. And then we're going to top stitch, and that's all the binding done. Super easy. It's done on the reverse, and that's the way it's instructed in the pattern, so I think that's really good. After hand basting this basting down, I'm just edge stitching and using my blind hem presser foot with a needle to the left for it. Super neat. Once the binding has been top stitched, then you take the top part of the panel. You can see the angle there, that's part of the waist. You have those marks, and these are going to match right up there. At the bottom you're going to have these two marks that are going to match, and then all we do is baste them. I'm basting these close to the edge and using a long stitch length. This will be caught within the general seams when we put the shorts together. This is just to hold them in place. You can see the two marks there that are matching up with the bottom panel. I'm just going to put the two pieces right sides together there and then do that straight seam, and that will actually complete the side panel, and it can just act as one piece. This is how the side panel looks when the pocket has already been inserted. You can see it's composed of a few pieces. There's that seam right there, and it makes for a really sturdy pocket to have that seam there. The construction for now, it'll be the same as if you just did a regular panel with no pockets. We'll just attach all of these together and continue. There is an optional pocket flap that you can sew on there, and there's another type of pocket that this area is composed of two pieces, and there'll be a zipper in there. So there's quite a few options. But then you still end up with the same panel on the side that goes between the two legs. This is how one of the legs look after both of the seams are sewn. Two straight seams, serged and top stitched. Now all we have to do is put the inseams together here and do a straight little seam there, and that will close off and finish one leg. How both of the legs are going to look once the inseams are sewn. Just get these little seams done. Now that the inseams are done, I've just turned one leg right sides out, the other one's wrong sides out, and just take the one and put it inside the other like this. So we match up the inseams, and then we're going to have this U-type seam that we're going to sew and serge, and then the pattern construction is done, and then we have to just deal with the waistband and the hem. What I've got here are both the front waistbands together, the one that's interfaced, the one that's not interfaced, and on this top edge that's curved, this is where we're going to sew them together. Now I'm going to sew mine onto the pants with a reverse method. So my interfaced waistband is the one I have already pressed up by 5/8 of an inch right there. I did a guide stitch at the sewing machine with a long stitch length, and that helped me press. Now this is the back waistband, and I've done the same thing, pressed it in as well. So we're just going to sew that 5/8 of an inch, then I'm going to trim it and then do a few snips there because it's curved. After snipping here, and before I sew the front waistband to the back waistband, I want to understitch just to keep the inner waistband inside. So just extend this, push the seam allowance underneath the non-interfaced waistband, and then sew right there on the edge, and that's going to keep it inside. So there's the front waistband, 2 layers together, sewn and understitched. So I have my folded edge right there on the top. That's just where I'm putting it right now. I'm going to take my back waistband, have that folded edge on the top as well so that they match. And now I'm going to just match these up right here. That memory crease, I'm going to extend it because I want to sew that extended, not folded. That would be bulky. And sew these short ends there, right sides together. And then on the other side, it's the same thing. This is also sewn with 5/8 seam allowance. And then I'm just going to press the seam open. Here's my waistband all sewn and pressed, seams are open. So I'm going to leave it just like this. I'm going to have the raw edges on the top. That's what I'm going to sew to the edge of the waistband of the shorts. This is the front waistband here. And I'm going to take my shorts. My shorts are wrong sides out, as you can see. Here are all the seams. And I'm just going to slide this inside. Make sure this is the front part of the shorts, matching the front part of the waistband here. Put a few pins to match up the centers. And I have my waistband right side of waistband to wrong side of pants on the reverse. It's just easier to top stitch in my opinion. And that's the way it's instructed in the pattern. So I think that's really good. I'm going to pin it there. Now the seam of this waistband is going to meet this seam of the side panel, that first seam that you see right there. So those should match exactly. And then the rest is this matching up with the back. This waistband is going to match the top of the shorts 1-to-1. So it should be pretty exact. So I'm just going to finish pinning and then I'm going to have a round seam like that to sew. Sewn on the waistband. I've turned the shorts right sides out now, and here's the seam. I am going to trim this and snip it where it's curved here on the front, but then this waistband is just going to come over and cover the seam, and then we can top stitch. The elastic stops here at this seam, so from here, from where the panel starts all the way to the other side, this is where it's all elasticated. So when I top stitch, I'm going to leave a little section open here so I can thread my elastic through. Some quick hand basting to hold it down. And then I'll be back to just top stitch all the way around, leaving my little gaps here to put the elastic through. After hand basting this waistband down, I'm just going to edge stitch, grab my blind hem presser foot with the needle to the left again so that this edge stitching looks super neat. Make sure to leave the little gaps there on the seams of the waistband so I can thread my elastic through. Here's the front waistband, and here I have my little gap. This is the front, and I'm going to push it through this side and leave a little bit of elastic coming forward towards the front by about 3/8, and then I can catch it and stitch in the ditch later. So this is where I'm going to start threading. This is the back waistband here until I make it to the other side. This elastic is quite floppy, so I know that after I've got it through, I'm going to have to top stitch it so it doesn't flip and start folding and twisting inside. Okay, so on this side, I've pushed the elastic that way and I have a tiny bit of elastic here coming forward. I've put some pins to hold it down right there on the seam, and I might as well just sew it now. So I'm just going to stitch right there into that seam and then close that. Here I've pushed the elastic to the other side, and I've also got it up to here towards the front waistband. I'm going to do the exact same thing, sew right there, close that up, and then all the rest is already here. Then I'm going to stretch this as I top stitch it down. As I top stitch, you can see my hands are extended, but I'm not actually pushing anything through the feed dogs. I'm just keeping the elastic extended and the waistband just completely straight. So just I just let the feed dogs push along the fabric. I'm not pushing anything along. I'll probably have to do at least 3 rows here, one in the middle, then divide that again, and then divide that again. Here are my brown Hello shorts. These are the ones you saw mainly in the tutorial, and I want you to see this fabric up close. It's got embroidery on it. It's a linen rayon blend, so it's quite structured, but also has a bit of drape. A little bit wrinkly as well, but the embroidery is so pretty, and because the fabric has all these details, that's why I decided to do the most simple version that only has the side panel here without the pockets. I thought the pockets would just be too much detail for this type of fabric, so I always think about those things. Here is the flat front waistband. You can see the waistband reaches the seam of that panel right there, and from there onwards, sort of from the side all the way to the back, is where you have the elastic. and I've done 3 rows of top stitching there to hold it in place. I do have some better quality elastic that's non-roll, but it's only 1.5 inches, and you needed 2 for this because that's the width of the waistband. So mine was quite floppy, so I think the top stitching was imperative, otherwise it would start folding and flopping and looking really ugly. So I think in a lot of cases you will have to top stitch, and I don't mind. It keeps it flat, keeps it neat, and I think it makes it more comfortable as well. I did these little pocket flaps just for decoration. There's no pocket there, you know, it's just to have something there on the back just because I wanted it there. On the inside, the hem allowance is 1.5 inches or 4 centimeters. And you can choose to fold it twice and just have a smaller fold. It's still the same amount, or just fold it up once, and I just did that. I think it was less bulky like this. I've got brown serger thread. The top stitching is very discreet. They're so nice. I mean, you just pull them up and they're just amazing. I have had a lot of fun styling these, you know, from dressy to very casual. Here are my brown Hello shorts from Sinclair Patterns, also a size 16, same 8-inch inseam with a toe file. You'll see the details up closer. This is a linen rayon blend, much softer than the pink ones. I've got sort of like a monochromatic look. I have a darker brown chiffon top and I've paired it with red. I love red and brown together. Same comfort, very beautiful. Up close you see that this linen has embroidery details. I'll never tuck in, but I'm tucking in so you can see the waistband details, the flat front, elasticated back. You can see those little pocket flaps there. Those are extra. I just added those on just to have something there. I did top stitch the back where the elastic is because my elastic was a little floppy, and I really love this brown and red look. Matches the flowers on the back as well. Love that. Here are my brown Hello shorts again, more casual, just a neat top with some colors that match. I have some caramel brown sneakers and handbag, super comfy to walk around all day and feel super comfortable and fresh in the summer. Love these colors, although they're more autumnal. I think I could get away with wearing these colors all year really. And here are my brown shorts, just a little dressier with some heels. I have a blouse that is made out of satin with a print. I have that turquoise blue type situation on the blouse that I attempted to match with the shoes. And now I realize they are not exactly the same. They did look the same to me in my eyes. On camera, they look a little different. I'd be happy to wear my shorts out to somewhere nice, just paired up with a nicer blouse and some heels. I'm a happy camper. My second pair is a magenta, just a solid plain fabric with my sewing machine, just decorative stitches. You've seen me do this before. I'll leave you a link to a video where I show this in detail. But I just chose a stitch on my machine and just drew lines with a chalk 1 inch apart, and then just did that for the waistband on the front. I also did that for the fabric that was going to be the pockets. There is the binding on top of the pocket entrance. There is the seam that unites this to the bottom. Now, the fact that there's an actual seam there makes the pocket really sturdy, and it's going to hold things if you want to put like heavy things in there. More sturdy than those other types of pockets where you have the whole panel and then you just have a pocket stitched right there. I think those can be a little weaker, and over time that seam could rip and whatever you're holding in there is just going to fall out. But it won't happen with this one. This is a really strong pocket. can put a flap there if you want. I just kept mine simple. I added back patch pockets because I like to have them when I sew solid pants, and I have the same type of decorative stitch on my machine. From far away they still look like solid pants. You can't really see this unless you're up close. I also just did one row of top stitching and I have the hem folded up once. I think the waistband is super easy to sew, and I love that the instructions have you sew it on the reverse, which is how I usually do it, but you know, in a lot of patterns you have it sewn the other way around, which just makes it a little harder. So I was really happy to find my favorite technique in this pattern. Let me show you how it looks inside. Just as neat on the inside as the outside with the waistband. It's just so nice. This was such an enjoyable project, and we'll see this very casual and a little bit dressy as well. These are my pink Hello shorts from Sinclair Patterns in size 16 toe file. I have the longest version here with the 8-inch inseam. My fabric is a linen cotton blend. I love the color, and I've got a really toned down type of outfit with leather sneakers in white. Sort of matches with the white in the shirt as well. The shirt has the colors that match, and you're going to see the details up close. The Hello shorts have a flat front waistband. As you can see, I did some decorative stitching with my machine. It's elasticated at the back, as you can see. That makes them pull on, and I have pockets on the side panel. I have added my own patch pockets at the back. I love the amount of ease and the fit on these shorts. You know, they're not meant to be fitted or cup your bottom. You're going to have some positive ease at the hips. Comfortable, it allows movement, and I know this fabric is really stiff right now, but with washing it's going to soften up. Yeah, linen cotton, you can expect the stiffness, but it was lovely to work with. I love these pink shorts. Here is a dressed up look with my Hello shorts in pink. I have snake print sandals. The handbag sort of matches the shorts, and have a beige peplum top in linen. I really love this. I think you can dress this type of fabric up and down. It just depends on the style and what you pair with it. And that's what I like about linen. I'd be happy to pair the beige with the pink. I think it's really pretty and really springy, summery looking. I think these shorts are not that short, so I would be happy to dress these up and go somewhere nice in them. Here's another look, and this is just a little more casual, really nice walkable sandals with a block heel, really comfy. In this outfit, black would of course pair with everything, and this is one of my Chloe tops, also from Sinclair Patterns. I really love this simple styling, and I'd be happy to walk out the house like right now in this outfit. I did some decorative stitching on some of the pieces in these shorts, and it's very discreet. You only see them up close. I never tuck in, you know, so all these little details would just be seen a little bit. I really love these. I'm so happy with them. I would have shorts of these in every single color in linen. It's amazing. I want to find some denim that's nice and soft and not too stiff to make another pair. And I know in the future my mum is going to want one of these for sure. She uses shorts as her uniform as well. She likes the longer length. She loves the pull up. So I think this could work for a lot of people, and they're just so comfortable. You always want to put them on. I always highly recommend. These patterns are so well made, so well drafted, and the instructions are very detailed. You know exactly what to do. Remember to check out the Hello shorts while they're 18% off on the site. Always find my affiliate link down below in the description box and also in the pinned comments of this video. That's all from me. I'll see you again very soon with more sewing. Bye!